Let's now see what happens if you would like to use module install within Makefile and within Makefile.PL. So module install doesn't have a separate file, it just uses Makefile.PL. It just has a different format of the code. The way module install works is that it first of all, on the development machine, you have to install module install itself. But when you're packaging your module, so your own app module, when you're packaging, then module installs takes some part of it and installs it, packages it together with your module in the inc, in the inc directory. And therefore, when your code is running, it will try to use the module inc module install. So it will bring all the extra tools with itself to the target system. I suppose to Makefile.PL that needs to have executable makemaker installed, and build.pl that needs that the build.pl that needs the module build installed already on the machine. Module install brings itself with the code that you're installing right now. So how the Makefile.PL, and I put it in Makefile.PL, Makefile.PL, but that's just because my slides are incorrect. So it's just Makefile.PL. Use strict and use warnings as the beginning of the code. Then you put the minimum version number of Perl that you require. Then you load the module install, and again it's the inc module install because it's installed in the inc subdirectory. And you can even tell what minimum version of that you need. That's mostly important for the packagers. So when you're packaging, because the one who is installing already gets the right version if you install it correctly. Then you declare what's the name, what the license of your code, who is the author, just a name. I think you can put an email here as well. Then all kind of information it needs to get, for example, the abstract and the version number. So you can tell module install where to get each one of these from, or you can tell that everything all from this file to take. So it will look for the version number there, it will look for the abstract there, and so on. Then we can declare all kind of requirements. So for example, here I put a requirement on Perl. Now that's different from this, but the version number is different just by mistake, but the use of these are different. So this is checked when the Makefile itself is executed. This will put this requirement into MetaYAML. So even before running Makefile.PL, you could check it, even without running any code. Someone could just look at the module, the packaging of the module, look at the MetaYAML file or MetaJSON file, and see from there, oh, this one requires at least 5.8.5 in this case. So that's the importance of adding this requires. Then here I set the requires and the name of the module. If I don't have a specific version number, if I would write 0 in the other two cases, then here I don't even have to say that. It's just say requires and this, and then I don't care what version. Then there is another example here that we haven't seen earlier, but it can be done there too, because that's also code, is that here I have a requirement that's based on some condition. In this case, we require the Win32 module only if the current operating system is Windows. This is a little bit tricky because this means that if you're packaging your module on Linux system, then it won't enter the MetaYAML. So if someone is looking at the MetaYAML, won't see that actually you need this module for Windows. But when you're installing the module, then again on Linux it will be disregarded because this will fail. But on Windows it will also require the installation of this module. So this is actually much more flexible than a fixed file like the MetaYAML or MetaJSON. You can set all kind of conditions. You can even ask actually the user if she wants to have some kind of extra features, and based on that add more requirements. Here too you have a separate set of requirements for the time when you're installing the module. So test requires can set names of pairs of module and a minimum version number that you need for installing the module that you won't need during runtime. And then here are a couple of other things that are taken from the Padre project. Homepage, bug tracker, and repository. These are keywords that can get URLs, and this information will be embedded into the meta.yaml file and the meta.json file. And again, it's good for automatic tools to be able to look at this information. It's also used both on Search cpan and on Meta cpan to display links to various interesting places. So this is the home page of the project. This is where your bug tracking system is located. This is where your version control system lives. So it's a subversion repository in this case, but you can link it to GitHub or wherever you want. And finally, you need to call install. Sorry, it's not finally yet. The finally is here, is the write all. So if you have extra scripts that you would like to install, then you say install script. That's different from installing the modules. You don't have to specify the modules you need to install. All the modules in the lib directory will be installed. That's the default. You can also call install share. That will install all the files that are in the share subdirectory. That's a nice feature of module install. And then finally, after you declared all these things that you want this module install to do, then you say write all, then this is what is going to create the Makefile file itself without the extension. So this will install the share, just to point out what's commented here. This will install all the files within the share directory of your distribution into some directory in the system, and you will be able to find that using this piece of code. So you will call file share dir, this dir function, give it the name of your module. This is the name of the module, the distribution. And this will return you the directory where all the shared files were installed. So if you have some templates or whatever your images you would like to have with your code, then you put them in the share directory, you install them with this tool, and then you can, during runtime, you will be able to find them on the installed system using this piece of code.